What's up, everyone? Well, Blizzard just confirmed the reset for Diablo 2 Resurrected's Ladder Season 15, as well as the preliminary 3.3 patch notes. And I was pretty surprised to see some of the things that are in there. I think if you read between the lines, there's some significant changes, and I won't hold you for it. I think the fact that they're changing items, even on the small scale, is huge. We've got some other updates, some bug fixes, and the way some of the Uber materials are being dropped, Herald farming. Pretty cool, actually. So let's get into it. All right, first off, Season 15 starts August 21st. That's here in Pacific time. I'm not really going to get into how ladder resets. That's a different type of thing. I kind of want to just get into the updates of the season. But I will say, our friends out in Europe, I'm sorry it resets right in the middle of the night. But you guys that are up, hardcore. I think the trails and the travels that you've been on, you've probably got some stories that none of us have. Anyways, ridiculous. All right, let's get down here. Patch 3.3 patch notes, no way. Really what this means is that the rune words that you could only make on ladder, these ones listed here, can now be made on non-ladder, which is super cool for some of the really nice basic budget ones, specifically Temper, Bulwark. That's really awesome. But also the Mania and Hysteria rune words, Burst of Speed, really cool. Metamorphosis, I won't name them all, they're all right there. Now, I was super shocked to see that they're even touching existing items. All of these are very low level, nothing significant that's going to impact end game necessarily. And these changes are only going to be on Reign of the Warlock in ladder. So none of the existing items are going to change. If you already have some of these, you need to play ladder in Reign of the Warlock to see these changes. But what I thought was kind of cool, kind of stuck out to me right away, was an All Heal ring, 10% faster run walk on a ring, and you could wear 2 of them. So you can get 20% faster run walk just on rings. That's got to be interesting for speedrunners. I'm not a speedrunner, have no clue, but that popped out at me. A little mini grief damage here, by the way, too, +6 on Angelic set. This might really allude to the fact that they might be making changes down the road to other items. That's crazy. This is the most hopeful thing I've seen in the longest time. Can you imagine our amazing items that we always just love, but they don't get to see too much use because they're always overshadowed by rune words? Things like the Grandfather. Can you imagine if that was maybe not only competitive, but in some cases the best in slot for some builds? I think that it might also require adjustment maybe to the Barbarian's 2-handed attack speed, especially with Whirlwind. Maybe just revert that back to what it was. But this is so hopeful. I can't believe it. It's amazing. I mean, let me know down below what you think of this. What would you like to see moving forward? I don't want to see any kind of crazy power creep, but I think there's room to bring some things in line. How cool is that? I think even, let's talk about like Astrian's Iron Ward. Like if the plus damage on there could just a little bit more, I mean, that would in some cases outdo Grief, specifically for Smiters. But Grief would still be important for other builds. I don't know. Anyways, let's keep moving on. I wanted to get into the Terror Zones here. Terror Zone, Colossal Ancients, updates. So super huge here. Increase the chance of dropping rare quality and higher items from Herald tiers 3 and higher. That's amazing. People have been complaining about the drop rates. I've been seeing pretty not so good drop rates. I've had some things drop, but nothing great. So that's huge. It's also a huge reason to farm higher than tier 1 and 2 heralds and to use your shards that drop. Yeah, also it makes you want to have builds that farm those terror zones. So my Fist of Hammers guy is perfect. Can't stop playing him. Love him. Probably what I'm going to do. Anyways, so that's huge. The minimum drop level for the Latin Center Charms have been increased from 69 to 75. So you need to be in higher area zones. I believe that's going to mean you have to be in hell to find them. I don't know how I feel about the Sunder Charms in general. That's kind of a different topic. Yeah, anyways, reduce the drop rate of the Latin Sunder Charms themselves when using Magic Find. Herald drop rate is unaffected. So their chance of dropping from random monsters. Interesting. I guess they'll be just slightly harder to find overall. But the same if you're farming heralds. All right, anyways, Latin Sunder Charms drop through Magic Find now only drop in hell difficulty. That's what I did. All right, that's what I just said. Additional item will now drop alongside Worldstone Shards. That's huge. Everyone's complained. Even me. We've all had issues with this is taking the space of other loot that could be there. Well, now other loot's going to be there guaranteed. That is rad. At the same time, reduced the drop rate of Worldstone Shards, so we're not going to be flooded with them. Hopefully it's not reduced to oblivion. We do need to terrorize the axe, you know. Reduce the drop rate of ancient statues. That's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. I think a slight drop. I wonder what these numbers are. They're not giving us any details on how much they've reduced, like 20% or 3 times reduction. That's a, big difference. So I think if they were to reduce the rate of the statues by 50%, that's fair. Curious what it is though, but either way, that's going to increase the value of the Uber jewels that you get from farming the Uber Ancients if the statues are harder to find. That's cool. I think more reason I'm going to play my Fist of Hammers Paladin next season. He's good at farming Uber Ancients. All right, bug fixes. Stability and performance improvements. That's awesome. Again, they're not telling us what these are. Bind demons additional damage bonus is greater than intended. That seems cool. I feel like everyone's just pumping out demon locks. I haven't been playing much Warlock, so you guys let me know how you feel about that. But it seems like that's been kind of really OP. Sigil of Death would consume mana when it failed to cast. That's awesome. So now you won't be wasting mana. Plus to fire skills was not being applied to Sigil Death. Sweet. So a Mage Fist. Now they work. Very cool. Miasma Chain had a missile collision. Now it doesn't on neutral and friendly units. Hey, that might fix Miasma Chain being pretty wonky. Falling off when it wasn't supposed to. Oh man, that's cool. Good timing too, because look out, I might be swinging around with an update to my Miasma Warlock guide. He's a really good starter, so that's really cool. I'm curious how that's going to play when the patch drops. Very pumped about that. That's actually low-key. I'm hyped about that one. What? Fixed an issue where the player could get stuck in Leap's landing animation. Have we all experienced that? And then you're just stuck in the air. Oh, and then come down. That's cool. That should make it so much smoother. Huh, interesting. The game's going to be a little more feeling correct. Some bosses could lose their AI behavior. Interesting. Is that like we won't be able to trick certain bosses around doors, or I wonder if the moat trick is like not going to work as good. That's weird. We're going to have to see how that goes. Fix an issue where council members as heralds were not dropping anything. What? I've never experienced that. But that would piss me off. That would suck. Okay, good job. Fix an issue where keys could not be bought in bulk from Hrotley when using a controller. Sweet. Off-screen item names. Nice. Well, glitchy when the names are showing up on screen is fixed. Various issues where items will not display properly in the Chronicle. Okay. Oh, that's annoying. Fixed an issue where the Chronicle item eligibility message could display, even if the item was already registered. Wow, nice. Man, that would be annoying if you're trying to complete it and you're like confused about which ones you need to actually. Sweet. Fixed an issue where the Chronicle item eligibility message would not display in 8-player games. That's weird. Well, the one thing I would say about these bug fixes is I wonder if that gives me a lot of hope. I wonder if one day they'll fix the issue with mercenaries firing fire arrows or exploding arrows. Because Kuko and stuff doesn't work on the Act 1 rogue mercenary. It's a visual bug, but it's not actually firing those explosive arrows. So that'd be cool. Other things, I'm sure there's a lot of other things I wish they would fix and they really need to fix. Really wish they would bring the Barbarian's two-handed attack speed on Whirlwind back up. But this is super cool. I want to know, what do you guys think about the item changes? What do you guys think about these bug fixes and the changes to the Colossal Ancients? That's a big one to me. The materials, the way the Sunder Charms are dropping now. Yeah. I want to know, what do you guys think? What build are you going to start with? I'm going to be swinging around and trying to update some of my starter builds, but check my channel. I've got some decent starters. I always aim for things that are really solo self-found friendly or just completely zero budget. So Assassin, Amazon are up there. My Fist of Hammers Paladin is a solid starter. I love him. This league, it looks like the Miasma Warlock might be a little less clunky, and he's a really good starter too. So let me know. What are you guys going with? I'm pretty hyped. August 21st. Let's go. This is crazy. So yeah, patch 3.3 is way bigger than I expected. Blizzard is actually touching items. That's crazy. Like that, they've never done that. They've never really done that. Patch 1.08 to 1.9, right? That 1.09, they changed some items. Ariad's Phase, Valkyrie Wing, and those things like that. But since then, I mean, it's been over 20 years. This is crazy. I have hope. Man, maybe if we make enough uproar and positive waves about this, we might actually see some big updates that we've been really hoping for a long time. Let me know in the comment section, what are you most excited for? Are you going to be playing this ladder season? What build are you going to be starting with? Till next time, hype's going up, builds are going up. Let's go. Ladder season 15. Love you all. Peace out.